How's it going, everyone? Christian here with Potato Chips Gaming. Today we're going to be playing some more Dawn of War 2 Elite, and I'm going to be playing something special as soon as it loads here. Alright everybody, today we're going to be playing as the Grey Knights, the Ordo Malleus Chamber Militant. As you can see, we've got our little brother captain here. He's the commander of our forces. Look at him, his freaking inscribed armor. Alright, he's going to knock some heads. And we've got our inquisitorial stormtroopers, who are essentially just better versions of guardsmen. Unfortunately, that does not scream well about their abilities. Anyway, getting into it, as you can see, I just summoned a Grey Knight Strike Squad. They've got their wrist-mounted storm bolters as well as their force halberds. And I am facing up against the forces of chaos because there is no greater threat to humanity. As you can see, we've got a group of heretics here who are essentially just little cultists. We've got Chaos Space Marines. And we've got them being led by a sorcerer of Tzeentch, the god of fate. As you can see, here's their base, my base. Let's get into it. Okay, so for our first engagement, we've got Strike Squad versus Chaos Space Marines. And it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty much in my favor right here. However, these guys reinforcing may cause a bit of damage. Alright, I'm sending my brother captain in to help with the first engagement. They sent their troops into the building here, but they aren't exactly known for range, being just armed with like basic bitch pistols. Anyway, yeah, so we take down one of their models, which is really good. And they just seem content on sacrificing their own, just to see if they can do any damage to them. Now they're doing a ton of damage to my troops here, and they've got another Chaos Heretic Squad. So that Heretic Squad is actually going to go in and assault them instead of trying to capture that point. Wise move, but made a little bit too late. Because, you know, that's why. Anyway, got the battle of entries here between the two titans. Got the Chaos Sorcerer versus my Grey Knights commander. So everything's looking pretty good. Looks like map favor is mine. And yeah, looks like we've got one unclaimed requisition point due to the battle over it. However, I think that battle came out over my top. Inquisitorial stormtroopers here are just hanging out down here. Going around, recapturing points, going around, just being general nuisance to them. Have my brother captain capturing this point. I decided to lock up this point so that they can't capture it, which is a wise move because the AI actually kind of freaked out right there and just didn't know what to do with their lives. Anyway, Chaos Sorcerer moving through the middle. Got my Strike Squad still healing. Send my brother captain after these guys just so they don't start shooting at this guy thing. He manages to take down one of them and yeah, starts tearing through them. They really don't have much hope against him. However, he did take quite a bit of damage. He manages to take down the second of them. Looks like they've got a Chaos Heretic Squad with an aspiring champion, so they're a bit more melee savvy, but still not quite enough. As you can see, giblets are just flying all over the table. That little move they're doing where they like blow up is actually a little ability called Doom. Essentially, they kill themselves, cause a massive warp explosion, suppress my troops, and also deals damage to them. Got my brother captain retreating so that he can heal up, and yeah, looks like they're now currently in control of the field so far. Well, yeah. So we got the Chaos Sorcerer right here capturing this power node, and these guys capturing the requisition point. So they're coming at my troops. However, I didn't realize the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers' grenades exploded instantly, so that was a mistake on my part, and it cost me one model. So that's a bit unfortunate. Ah well. Looks like we got a CSM squad going around, just going south here. They captured this record point, but map favor is still mine because they seem more focused on killing my troops than you know, actually capturing points. And that was a big mistake on their part. They just ran straight in my new purgation squad, who, as you can see, just love burning the living shit out of things. Oh boy. Looks like we got the CSM going on my nearest resource point here. However, we got my strike squad sent after him. And yeah, it's looking pretty good for me. I decided to send my purgation squad over down here eventually because reasons. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't realize these guys were upgraded with grenades, so I just sent my inquisitorial stormtroopers here straight into death. Yeah, they're just getting absolutely shredded. I'm still getting used to the inquisitorial stormtroopers because I was expecting to play more space marine type build so that they're tougher, but I wasn't expecting to get actual like guardsmen inquisitorial stormtroopers. So I kind of had to get into that mindset with the inquisitorial stormtroopers. Anyway, got the brother captain coming back in. He's been buffed up with the Nemesis Force Sword, which I will just hover over so you can look at the abilities. Mantle of Terra and Unending Purge. There we go. Alright, let's see what they got. Yeah, these guys are not doing the damage I want them to do against these Chaos Space Marines, mainly because these guys are heavily resistant to flamers due to their ceramite armor. So I don't know what I was thinking with that, but they are extremely good against heretics. And as you can see, I'm having they were kiting me with the freaking grenade launchers, so I had to have them retreat. Come around with my stormtroopers again. However, I still haven't wised up from before, so I'm still thinking to treat them like Grey Knights. Ah well. With this game, you have to be or with this army, you have to be a bit open to both categories. Anyway, send my purgation squad to deal with these guys, and oh my god, are they gonna just regret their life in a few seconds here? As you can see, I'm just flambeing the shit out of them. Oh my gosh. Literally the only one left is their freaking aspiring champion. Unfortunately, lost track of this guy, so he just got sent into God knows where. I send him back because despite him being extremely tough, yeah. Anyway, I used the Nemesis ability, or the Nemesis Vortex ability, and just kind of leave with that so that I just bomb their base. Looks like they've got a heavily damaged Chaos Space Marine squad down here. Got their Chaos Sorcerer running around, making sure everything's gone well. Yeah, it looks like everything's doing pretty well for me. I lost a lot of my map coverage, though, due to them having more numbers than me. They've also got a Noise Marine squad. Now, Noise Marines have these special weapons, which actually prevent ranged fire. However, that's not going to be a real challenge for my strike squad here, who's just going to get into melee. I've also upgraded my purgation squad with silencers, which are just effectively psychic miniguns. And yeah, sending their Chaos Sorcerer here out and about. However, he's about to regret his entire life. They've got these Chaos Space Marines still running about, claiming requisition points. However, I got my Inquisitorial Stormtroopers on the case, upgrading them with Plasma, and that is going to make me very effective against Chaos Space Marines. I've got a Rhino here as well, so he's going to help out a lot with the infantry. So you can see the Grey Knight's brother on the top there. And yeah, got the strike squad going in after that sorcerer. However, he manages to get away and into his turreted base, so we're just going to avoid actually doing that. Upgraded him with the heavy bolter, so those chaos heretics are going to get surprised as soon as they get out here. He just starts unloading on everyone. Looks like they capped this point here, but I currently am claiming the map back to them. Gave these guys an acolyte or whatever it's called, so that way their leadership is a bit buffed, as well as they have a bit of a damage buff and just about everything. So yeah, reclaiming the map in my name. However, they got the sorcerer around me, which is unfortunate. Rhino's still going to town on these poor bastards, but he did take a good bit of damage, and unfortunately I totally forgot about these Norse Marines who have upgraded themselves with the Blastmaster Cannon. So, as you're going to see, regrets. Anyway, I finally figured out how to counter the heretics and managed to just outnumber them and outflank them. I'm still taking quite a few losses, or well, at least quite a bit of damage from their grenades, but looks like I'm starting to figure out how to actually use my freaking Inquisitorial Stormtroopers. I have my Rhino still going to town on everyone here. The Noise Marines are making it around my Rhino here, and it looks like they've upgraded their Chaos Space Marines with the Mark of Khorne, which means they've gone full melee and full blood for the blood to God. Anyway, these guys were getting around and about to hit my Rhino here with a rear attack, which would have just ended it right there. However, I managed to get my Inquisitorial Stormtroopers here, and yeah, those plasma guns are no joke against Chaos Space Marines. Anyway, but they send their Khornate units in, and yeah, they're tearing through that. Thankfully, I've got repairs, but yeah, they're slowly whittling it down. But I am also slowly whittling them down. As you can see, I just take down one right there. And yeah, I have my purgation squad just sitting there, so that way no one can get out of that southern arena, but the battle's going on here, so we'll focus more on that. Anyway, one more goes down, and they just decide to up and retreat and cut their losses. However, they did serious damage to me. And once again, they're trying to get their Noise Marines set up, but I'm just saying fuck no to that, and they have them retreat. Alright, I've upgraded my brother captain here with the Nemesis Demon Hammer, which I will hover over so you can read what it does, as well as the Holy Armor of the Titan. Titan being the moon of Jupiter, where the Grey Knights have set up their base. And as you can see, he is no joke when he's really gotten angry. I didn't really like the Demon Hammer, so I just put him back with the Nemesis 4 Sword. And yeah, I have this guy run away, but I did not notice that their commander actually had a melt-a-gun right here. So let me just show you. Melt-a-guns are essentially just anti-vehicle weapons. I did not realize that he had a melt-a-gun right there. And yeah, that's pretty much how that went down. It was unfortunate, but, you know, was not expecting it. Anyway, send these guys in to melee the freaking Khornates for some stupid-ass reason. Because that's a great idea. I mean, they do slightly more damage than a regular Khorne Marine. However, unfortunately, I upgraded them with the Psy Cannon before I could get their freaking commander, so I lost one, and we took pretty much even losses during that battle. Anyway, losing some of my map, so I've got the Chaos Heretics here, as well as still got this power node locked down. And yeah, just trying to keep the north stable, but as you can see, it's not working out so well for me. Because I just like lost a whole row of freaking Inquisitorial Knights here when the Khornates attacked, and then I lost my Rhino. Anyway, got the Chaos Heretics here going for my brother captain, but as you're about to see, it's not going to do so much. I switched his armor back to the Mantle of Terra, so he gets the Nemesis Vortex ability, which I really liked as an ability. I don't know. Seemed a little slow, but ultimately I like the damage it could do. Anyway, I have these guys shooting at the Khornates, and they do not take too kindly to that. Run away! Anyway, yeah, got my strike squad going after Chaos Heretics. As you can see, they just tore through them. And yeah, everyone's just running away at this point. Purgation squad just doing their thing right here. Shooting at anyone who comes in or comes out of that little pocket there. But yeah, as you can see, the north has broken and the tides of chaos are coming in. Brother Captain, I put his weapon back to the Nemesis Demon Hammer because, I don't know, I guess I was just kind of experimenting with him. But yeah, as you can see, he's just absolutely tearing through these heretics here. But yeah, then he takes a full shot from the Noise Marine and his health just gets knocked down. But thankfully, reinforcements have arrived in the form of paladins, who just, unfortunately, I missed it, but they just absolutely tore through the Cornates, and it was not fun for them. As you can see, there's only 2 left, one being the commander that took down my Rhino before. But yeah, I've got the paladins up here, and they are not happy about their brothers dying. Anyway, start having my strike squad shoot at their power generators. Not really because that's a tactical choice, because I could take that and use their power generators against them, but more of an aesthetic choice because I'm supposed to be the Holy Inquisition Knights, and using ruinous power generators wouldn't look so well with my image. Anyway, we've got 1 requisition point here not claimed by anyone, as well as this one here, which I'm about to shoot at right now. Gotta claim that for the Imperium. Anyway, we got their Noise Marines trying to set up for one last shot, but they unfortunately fail. I do the Holy Land ability, which effectively just makes it so I move faster and they move slower. It doesn't really do any damage, but it doesn't allow it. It does make it harder for them to get away. Anyway, yeah, it looks like I pretty much fully claimed everything for my own. They're trying to grenade my paladins, but you know, that works about as well as throwing poppers at freaking Abrams. Anyway, I sent my brother captain up there, but I didn't realize I missed the requisition point, or I didn't finish claiming the requisition point, so I'll eventually get back to that later. I got a Vindicare Assassin, who doesn't really see much use in this, but I just like him because, you know, you gotta love the freaking assassins of this place. There are 4 major temples of assassins in the Warhammer 40k. You've got the Vindicare, who are the snipers, long-range shots and everything. You've got the Caldus, who are all about disguising themselves, infiltrating the enemy. You've got the Eversors, which are essentially you take a psychopath, you drug him up to his eyeballs, and you just start spewing Imperial propaganda in his face and tell him to go kill and die in the name of the Emperor. Give him a bunch of super weapons and send him whatever poor fortress you deem is unworthy of living that day. And then you've got the, what was it? It was the Calixes, who are the anti-psychers. So essentially anyone who's got psychic abilities do not want one of these guys coming, because they are pariahs who are special in that they don't have a soul, which is imperative for psychers to use. And they actually generate a field around them that makes it very difficult for psychers to think, to actually use their powers. So they're very good at hunting psychers. Anyway, that's enough of that. As you can see, I've taken pretty much control over the entire map at this point. Send my Vindicare in to fix my error of not claiming this requisition point. And yeah, pretty much everything is going as planned. I switched back to Holy Armor of the Titan because I realized I wasn't using the Nemesis Vortex as much as I wanted, so I'm just going to make him go full tank. Giving him the Nemesis Warding Staff, which I will show you what he does. Essentially just allows me to make my allies temporarily invincible. Anyway, got my Vindicare Assassin in. You gotta switch sides with him a few times, but you know, eventually I'll get... Yeah, anyway. So as you can see, they're trying their hand at the south now, but as you can see, it's not going too well for them. But they did manage to do some work against my Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, one of them being gibletified right here. And yeah, got their Cornates in again, but as you can see, it didn't go well for them. And they And they managed to kill that damn bastard sergeant who killed my freaking rhino over here. So, pretty proud of that moment right there. Anyway, yeah, my Vindicator assassin reinforced me this side because I didn't realize they were willing to go south. Anyway, I put him behind the purgation squad because, you know, he's longer range than them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Hell, he better be. He's got a freaking sniper. Anyway, send their coordinates in again. This time with a new sergeant. But, something tells me it's going to go the same way as it did last time. Yep. Anyway, send the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers up here to help reinforce. And, yeah, it's looking pretty good for everyone here. Managed to take down the commander, who was getting the Tome of Subjugation. So if he had actually managed to get and use that against my freaking paladins, well, that's GG right there. They'd be able to break through at the north and pretty much kill everything around them. The Book of Subjugation actually allows a temporary hypnotize ability, which is why I'm worried, because these guys aren't exactly. They could potentially, if used right, wipe out my entire army if used against me. Anyway, but as you're gonna see here, none of that's really gonna matter in the end because I'm gonna get my super route, my super heavy elite unit. Anyway, sending their coordinates in again, but as you can see. And that is all she wrote for the coordinates. Anyway, I've got my super weapon out, which is a Land Raider Crusader. As you can see here, we've got two twin assault cannons on top here on the two heavy bolter sponsons with sponsons, not sponsons. I don't know what I said. With 6 heavy bolters on each side, so extreme anti-infantry. As well as a melted gun on top. Top it all off, they cause my allies around the thing to regenerate, as well as reinforce them. So pretty much, it's a mobile HQ. Anyway, as you can see here, this didn't go so well for these Chaos Heretics. Nor did it go well for their little friend here. Anyway, got the Chaos Space Marines running in again. First one to go down is their freaking sergeant, so, you know, fun times there. And then the rest should follow suit here. Anyway, got my Land Raider Crusader in here, and now the end of Chaos is nigh. However, they do manage to take out one of my Inquisitorial Stormtroopers again. However, that's really a moot point when it comes to the Land Raider Crusader. And they just instantly reinforced right off the bat. Anyway, got my strike squad down here with the Psy cannon, which is essentially just a silencer. And yeah, they're just kind of holding the bottom here, and pretty much everything else in my army is holding the top. We got the coordinates making one last final push. Just get gibletified right there. And yeah. And that is their commander also gibletified. Anyway, they're getting another aspiring champion. Aspiring champions being their sergeants. And yeah. Chaos Heretics are coming in now. Taking all the damage. Taking all the pain. Yeah, it's not looking too good for anyone at this point. Anyone on the Chaos side. It's looking great for the Grey Knights. Yep. Just getting torn down again. Just getting torn down again. Anyway, got the Chaos Heretics again, just trying to be a nuisance. Trying to do something for Chaos, but, you know, it's not like Chaos serves well. It's not like they really equip their troops with anything other than grenade launchers. What I'm trying to say is fuck Chaos. Gibletified, and hey, look on the bright side. At least you got to serve your god. Blood for the blood god, but, you know, your blood. And the blood of these guys here, but you know, we're just gonna ignore that. These guys. You guys died a lot during the beginning. Anyway. Yeah, they got 2 squads of Chaos Heretics, as well as coordinate Chaos Space Marines. However, unfortunately, they did not get an aspiring champion this time. Anyway, in a desperate attempt, he just decides to use a bunch of anti-light infantry sorcery right there, but that ultimately does not do much in the end. Oh well. Looks like this is the final stand of Chaos right here. Sending in my Land Raider just to tear him apart. Giblets are flying everywhere. Chaos Sorcerer made it around, but he's definitely not going to make it past this little force I've got here. Anyway, ultimately I decide enough is enough and decide, fuck it, everything dies. Everything dies. That was it, everyone. That was the Orbital Bombardment. The most epic ability I have available to me. Anyway, got the Chaos Space Marines here, making one desperate final stand. Looks like they got an expiring champion to die with them. Well, that's fine by me. That's just more resources you wasted. Anyway, they're near their base, so they're healing a little bit, but ultimately that's just going to be a moot point. They're getting slowly whittled down. Got their Chaos Sorcerer back, but again, moot point when I bring in my Paladins. I've upgraded them with the Liber Demonica. Huh. I always thought it was Demonica or something like that. Liber Demonica. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just let you read what it does. Oh, it looks like I already had that for a while now. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, sending their sorcerer in to see if they can do damage. Here's what the sorcerer is equipped with, and what he is not actually. I was reading that. I was reading what he had on. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, got myself a Terminator Librarian, so he'll help out definitely. And yeah, it's pretty much just end game at this point. Got 2 minutes left, and we are good. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but good on you, I guess. Do whatever you can. Looks like we got a kill move on the sorcerer here, and he is down. Yeah, not surviving a demon hammer to the crotch, are ya? Looks like my Land Raider Crusader took a bit of damage when I nuked it, but you know, it can take quite a beating. Again, effectively a mobile HQ. Got my Inquisitorial Stormtroopers here repairing it. Moved my brother Captain up here so that he could guard the Stormtroopers. Got my Paladins going to town in melee. And pretty much everything else is going to town as well. Got my favorite little Vindicator assassin here, just doing what he does best. He's kind of just sitting there waiting for infantry to pop out. Anyway. Chaos building is pretty much being torn apart at this point. I've got my Terminator Librarian going in to help the Paladins out. Not going to do quite as much damage as them, but any bit of damage is helpful. Anyway, eventually I just decided to have my brother Captain in here. I said enough was enough and had him start like just beating it with his freaking stick. Anyway, they brought their Chaos Sorcerer back, but as you can see, he's not exactly made for melee. He decided that they weren't a worthy investment of his time, so he just decided to go for my Paladins here. However, as you can see in a moment, my Terminator Librarian will not have any of that. give him a moment here. Yep, that was it. That was Grey Knights, everybody. Alright, let's see what we got here. Exit game. Alright, everybody, that was the Ordo Malleus. Here's the overview. As you can see, I just kind of whomped him. But that beginning part was a bit iffy. Anyway, you got the commander here. We got my commander being at level 10, killed their commander 8 times. Their commander was only level 1, he didn't do much. Units killed 154, they killed 17 of mine. So we're gonna go by these units here because these numbers are off for some reason. So we're just gonna go with these numbers here. So they managed to kill 154 of my, I killed 154 of their units, and they killed 17 of mine. Resources, they did better in requisition. However, that's my power whomped there, so that was pretty good. Power buildings built, power buildings lost, only 1, and 5/5. Yeah. Anyway, power points captured, points lost. Yeah. Anyway, I've been Christian with Potato Chips Gaming, and I will see you next time.